Hello and welcome to this transformation guide on the Transformers Earthrise E29 Skywarp and Thundercracker 2-pack here. So the transformation on these guys is pretty simple, and what you see for one exactly is the same on the other. So we can remove his null rays to start, and then you can go to his hands here. You can kind of just pull this whole section apart. You kind of got to squeeze it a little bit and pull it apart. Push his fist up. That will allow this space here for that little black tab right here to go into. Like so. And then just close that all back together. Like so. Do that on both sides here. Close that up. Now you can take this big nose cone here, bring it up on its double hinge, hook it around here, and get the head in there. This tab here will go into there and close down into there. That will open this section up here for you to squeeze these together to get the clearance to open this up easier. So you can go ahead and open that up. Pull this hinge out here. It's on a double hinge there. Spin it all the way around and bring it up and click it into place here. You can then hinge these in and close this all back down. Now these two posts will go into these holes here, so you might have to push these just down a tiny bit, kind of get that to click into place there. So now we can go down here to the legs, and these tabs here will just go together. Pin those all together. And then you can fold the heels down and the toes down. You can take these whole sections here and spin them up. This big tab will go into that slot there. You can kind of use the ankle rocker joints there to give you clearance there. And then pull the stabilizers down. Do that on both sides here. You can then kind of pull this piece up, pull these open, and hinge this whole section together. That will tab in all right here. So those two tabs will go into those slots right there, and it'll go together rather securely. Push that all together tight. Push these, pull that up. Push these down till they click into place, and then push this down. Once you're here, pretty much all you gotta do is just take the wings. I like to fold them up to face this direction first, and then kind of fold them down and peg them into, there's this little tab here that will just go inside of the wing here in this open section here. And then this back one is just this little tab right here. It's very hard to see. It's just right here. It's just a little nub that will go into that tiny little square there. I kind of push it and kind of pull it very gently. That will tend to separate right there. On my Thundercracker, this wing just comes off all the time. Like so. Kind of just fit it all together. Get it all in tight. And then you can flip it over and you can take his null rays over here. They just go into these holes here. Pretty simple. Nothing too complicated there. But there we have him in his very cool jet mode. To go ahead and get him back into robot mode though, it's pretty simple. You just do all that in reverse. You just take the null rays back off. Get those out of there. Now this part I kind of just like oh shit, okay. Not what I'm trying to do here. We do it on this side. So you just kind of very gently pull on it to get this off. And then it'll kind of open up and you just spin them around like that. That's about the easiest way I've found to do it. You know of any easier way to do it? Let me know, because it likes to just pop off like that on me. It's a pain, but I deal with it with both of them actually. But once you're at this point, you're pretty free to either start from the front or the back. I'm going to start with the back just because it's easier and quicker. Fold up the stabilizers. Take advantage of those ankle rocker joints, unhook those, spin these down, and then just kind of spin these out. Usually the stabilizers will bring the back, like the heel part with it, and then you just flip the toes out, level them out. Here, pull this piece up, separate these, split right there, pull this whole section out. Now this part's pretty crucial. This little big tab here has to go into these holes here, or else it just won't stable. Like, it won't be stable at all. You can try to set it down. You can try to do whatever you want, and it just won't stand. And then you can just separate the legs there. And then you can come up here. It's easier to kind of just pop the whole nose cone out first. And these two is really loose. My Starscream isn't this loose, but these two are. But if you pop that down, it'll give you enough room to squeeze this section here. And if you squeeze this section here, see how much that moves? It'll allow you to open this up without having to bust these old tabs down here. But once you open it up down here, you can just kind of get these out of the way. Get this down, spin it all the way around. Get it down. And this big post here will go into this hole here. Kind of just work that into there as you're pushing it up. And then you can squeeze these sides in. Make sure these sides are put in the right spot, or else this old tab here won't grab it right. About right there. And when you push in these, it's much easier to click that in there without feeling like it's going to break all the time. But then this part I've kind of learned, if you take your middle finger and just kind of push forward on this joint here, this big joint right here, push forward on that, while you push back on the nose cone, it'll just pop right off. It took me so long to figure that out. It kept locking in on me. And then that just goes back here. Fold back. And then, and lastly, the hands here. You just do the opposite of what you did at first. You just pull this up, swing this whole piece out, and then this little black tab will go into this slot here, right there. Then you just put his hand down. Do that on both sides. You can then adjust the wings however you want. So I usually, well, make sure they're on there. And then I just kind of put them back to like the first little click. They don't really click, but I mean, if you have them in hand, you know exactly what I mean by that. Then you just take the null rays, and they just go into the ports on the shoulders here. Push them in. And I mean, that's about it there. Alright, and that was the transformation guide on the Earthrise E29 Thundercracker and Skywarp. Let me know if you found that guide entertaining or useful or helpful in any way down in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and stick around for the next video. Have a good night. Next video totally isn't Rodimus.